I don't know if you remember talking to me earlier, but you're like, hey, if you can find somebody that can do 70% of what you do, you're heading in the right direction. Just wanted to hear just briefly about, that growing pain part of finding the right people as you're growing your business.
Yeah, well, like I say, you have to grow your business. If you think you don't, uh, just think about again what happens if you don't. And we all know that we can't just stay still. There are people, plumbers, whatnot. They just work by themselves, work their whole career, and they stay healthy. They deal with that, but they have control. So again, something goes wrong, they know it goes wrong and stuff. So whenever you hire employees, obviously you're taking a risk. And me, I took it very uh, important that when I hired my first employee, my God, so it's not just me and my family. Now I got Jim and his family. It's a big responsibility. I took that very seriously. Um, but just like with Jim, I recognize, well, if I keep doing this by myself, that's the alternative. So I have to take a chance. I have to invest in somebody. So the important thing is obviously you want to find somebody that you feel like you can trust, and you kind of share core values. And I like this guy, he seems to get it. Nobody's perfect, nobody's going to think just like you do or something, but do we have the same interests? And we do. We both wanted to grow the company and feed our families that way. But I always say that every company has a bottleneck, where you're growing, but there's a bottleneck. You get so many leads, but you don't have enough people answer the phone. So you get more people, now they're answering the phone, they're setting appointments. You don't have enough salesmen to run the appointments. You finally get enough salesmen, they're selling all this work. Now you can't get it in the ground. You don't have enough crew chiefs or servicemen and things like that. So there's always a bottleneck. Your job is to make sure that you're not the bottleneck. And I was the bottleneck because I'm sitting there doing this thing. I have to be there, pretty much every day to manage the board, make sure nobody screws it up and doesn't optimize it. And that kept me from going out and finding new opportunities and networking and going out and talking to my people and all the things a good owner should be doing. I couldn't. And so I took someone and said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to run the board. And just like Jim, they were chained to my hip for months. And every time I'd set a lead, I explained to them, this is why this is going here. Okay. And then one day I said, okay, you run the board, you run the board tonight. I'll come in tomorrow and check it. So I come in the next day and what's this doing here? Oh, well, I thought, oh my God, it was a tough learning curve. And but finally I said, okay, you got it. And they made mistakes, not as many as they were before. And honestly, it was some time before they could do it as well as I, but it's okay. If they could do it 70% as well as I could do, that freed me up. My job is to go out and make sure I make up that 30% and then some. And that was my job. And eventually, of course, that person got really good and probably better than I was because that was the only job they had to do. And that was their daily job, and they got to be experts at it. And so we were allowed to grow and allowed me to do other things. So we call it letting go of the vine. And it's not the first time or the last time that I've been the bottleneck and stuff. So you always look in your company, where is it? And just make sure it's not you.